Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Short Vol Show, and thank you all for watching and joining me today live as we go into one of the most possibly exciting days of the trading year so far as we approach Apple earnings plus Tesla tomorrow, a whole slew of others, Paycom today, which I'm playing, and just shaping up to be an exciting week. We've got, of course, conflicting viewpoints on what the market will do today. We are coming into the day with a bit of a rally. E-mini's up 8. And let's see. Dow futures up 26. NASDAQ up 27. Thank you, Seth, for pointing me at a Guerrilla Trades related article talking about the Guerrilla. Guerrilla Trades has a guy who's behind it. His name is Ken Berman, and he has made some just incredible calls over the years. Let me state that just for the record here, just because I am sponsored by Guerrilla Trades, it doesn't mean that like I make the same calls as Ken Berman. In fact, I don't make stock calls, so I'm interested in to see what people say, and I appreciate the sponsorship, but I don't like sort of endorse other people's calls. I don't endorse another trader's calls. You know, when I worked for a trading group, I didn't endorse other traders in that group's calls, just like I don't endorse the CEO of Guerrilla Trades calls. But just interesting to see that they are, seems like they've come out publicly being very bullish on this Apple earnings. So we'll see what happens. You know, nobody who makes calls is right all the time. But they are very bullish on Apple going today. Now, I just take that as another little piece of information in my, in my toolbox, my trader toolbox. The other thing that I was noticing is they are very bullish on Costco moving forward. So we'll just see what happens. I did have a question from somebody asking what my current positions were, so I just wanted to go over that quickly. I don't really want to go over like dollar amounts and all that sort of thing, but I do have a bearish position in Paycom coming into earnings here. I sold out of the money call spread, so I kind of need Paycom to be below, I guess, 115. After August expiration. So we'll see what happens with that. I have been talking about this a lot, so it won't be surprising to you that I do have a bullish CGC, Canopy Growth Corp position on. I don't like to say the MJ word that much because, as you may or may not know, YouTube does not like you to talk about anything to do with Mary Jane or any sort of those things, and they will demonetize you if you talk about it. Even if you're talking about a stock in the stock market, they don't like you to talk about these things. So, this video is probably already demonetized because of the fish clip I put at the beginning, but that's a decision that I chose to make, but I don't want every video to be demonetized. So, anyway, let's take a brief look at the VIX. VIX down, indicated down 54 cents right now, or 76 cents. It just clicked. Kind of makes sense. VIX would be down with E-minis indicated higher. And, term structure, contango has been eroding a little bit with up moves over the last couple of days, but we're still around 4-point-something%, I believe. Let's take a look at that for a second. And for that, we'll go to VIX Central, the Eli Mintz site, which is pretty much every vol trader checks out this site from time to time. So contango at 5.52% according to them. This is usually delayed a few minutes. Now, if you want to check out contango by yourself, it's a very simple formula, and if you do have Thinkorswim, which you can pretty much get for free, you can just subtract the M1 future, that being the August future right now, the Q future, from the M2 future, that being the SEP future right now, or the U future, and you can divide that number by the M1 future. So right now we've got 50 cents plus 77 cents would be the difference between those two. So if we do 77 cents divided by 1450, we get 5.3%. So very close to what VIX Central was doing, but we do know that that's an exact number right now because we're not delayed on these feeds. So a simple way to calculate contango in real time. I do it all the time for people on StockTwits who may not have access to a live futures feed. Meanwhile, I've been getting a lot of criticism in the last day from people who either don't know me. Somebody was saying, that music that you play on your channel is terrible and you're disorganized and blah, 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 blah. Haters be hating and all that stuff. I got news for you. If you're trading based on the music that I'm putting on the channel, then you're kind of missing the point. Point of this channel is not to have pretty pictures or anything like that. The point is to give you some ideas. It's to challenge you to use your mind to think about things a little bit differently as far as trading. I'm not recommending any specific trades. I'm challenging you to, I'm kind of walking you through the way I think about things a little bit and the way I was trained to think about things, and also different ways to look at options, different ways to look at the VIX. So I know that when you're doing a live show ad-libbed, you're the way you like move through graphics and whatnot is not always going to be smooth. But I know it's people talk about this a lot on YouTube, so I won't go into it for too long. But basically, you get a couple haters. You have 5,000 people watch you, and you get 2 haters, and it starts to eat into you sometimes. And the cure for that is to not read negative comments. But I'm a small YouTuber, and I do care about what people think about me, so I read a negative comment, and I want to convert that one person or something. But you can't convert everybody, so it's a futile thing to do. It's the same thing on StockTwits. When I meet somebody who's aggressive towards me, I try to convert them or kill them with kindness, and it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. So let's take a look at Apple for a second here. So let's say, for example, that you were bullish Apple as well. What could you do? Well, Apple's trading 190 right now. You could buy the maybe the SEP 195 200 spread. So you could pay. What I'm doing is I pulled up the options screen on Thinkorswim. I'm going to move myself out of the way here. And I went to the 195 call, and I clicked on the offer. And so it's going to pull up an option screen showing me buying the 195 call for 435. I can close that screen for a second, and I can go down to the 200 call. I can hold control down and click on the bid for the 200 call. So that's going to add that to the trade. So now I've got a trade. I'm buying the 195 call for 170. I'm selling the 200 call for something. Selling the 200 call for 259, and thus I'm creating a spread where I'm paying 170 for a $5 spread. So let's say that was $2. So paying $2 to essentially make 3. So that would be a good thing maybe to do if you think this is going to gap upwards on earnings. Let's look at the chart one more time. Now this is a high float stock, and so maybe it's too aggressive to think it would go to 200 right here. Maybe you want to just bet that it's going to go a little bit higher, and you could possibly but this was over several days. You could possibly do something else, such as if you thought it was just going to move on earnings, you could go to options that expire in 17 days, and you could buy the 190 call and sell the 195 call. So buy the 190 call, 485, sell the 195 call, 255. So now you've got a spread. You're paying $2 for a $5 call spread. You'll break even with Apple up $2, and you can potentially double your money if it goes to 195. So that's interesting. If you're into that, this is not a particular spread that I'm interested in doing. I don't trade Apple. I don't. For some reason, I just don't like Apple. I feel like it's too thick, too heavy of a float for me. I never have had a handle on Apple. Way back when I had friends trading it, and it's just not my bag. So, but if it's yours and you want to give it a shot, that's up to you. Let's see. So, yeah. So Paycom, the spread I do have on is the August 17, 15, 25 spread on for 95 cents. So basically, if I'm right, I'll collect $95. If I'm wrong, I'll lose $900. So definitely, it's a high probability spread, but I could lose a lot of money if I'm wrong. It is capped out somewhat, but we'll see what happens. I just have it on small, and we'll see what happens. I've got 17 days, and this thing just has to be below 115 in 17 days. So if we look at the chart here, the high is 113. So, and we see this weird bar here, which I'm not sure exactly what it means. We'll have to see. It's showing 101 bid at 109, and we are hanging out, and we'll see what happens with the earnings. All right. Meanwhile, back in VIX land, let's take a look at UVXY. UVXY indicated down about 25 cents. Now, once again, that 9, my play, if I had a play, which I don't right now, would probably be to put time spreads centered around the 9 strike a few weeks out and look for this to drift back towards 9 and through 9 sometime soon, because pretty much convinced that's going to happen. We are in contango here, so regardless of these up moves, this thing is slowly decaying downward, and that will continue to be the case. Let me kill time and sales here. There we go. So exciting, moving into the rest of this earnings period here. We'll have to see what happens. Like I said, a lot of negative energy coming at me, mainly on StockTwits recently, and I think a lot of that has to do with me just expanding. I've been posting a lot of videos on other spots besides the UVXY thread, and it gets people a little riled up. They haven't heard of me before. They see me saying stuff, and they don't like it. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and good luck to you with your trading today. And I do appreciate you spending time watching my videos, and so thank you for watching. And I am going to put back on a song that I had going before. And if you don't like my musical taste, then you're welcome to turn it off and leave now, because the video is pretty much over.